हेलो आदाब नमस्कार सत श्री अकाल थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस संडे की शाम है 8 बज चुके हैं एंड टुनाइट रादर वी आर हियर अगेन विद अ वेरी डिस्टिंग्विश्ड गेस्ट विद अस। अब पिछली बार हमारी उनसे सही से मुलाकात नहीं हो पाई थी, बात नहीं हो पाई थी इंटरनेट के और कुछ टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम्स की वजह से। थैंक यू so much for taking out time for us again. We have the very distinguished Mrs. Husnara Salim, who is affectionately known as Nahid. She is the founder of the Maulana Azad Foundation for Education and Social Amity, that is MAFESA in short, in Kolkata. She is the grand niece of the esteemed freedom fighter and educationist Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Thank you so much for taking out time once more, ma'am. Glad to have you here.
Thank you, Aamir, for inviting me in this chat show. I am pleased to be here and would definitely like to answer questions what you place in front of me. Inshallah, looking forward.
So, Husnara ma'am has continued with the legacy of Maulana Azad. She has put her life behind that legacy. She started with working in the corporate sector in travel management, and then she came into education, and she has been instrumental in advancing educational and social status, especially of the underprivileged communities, particularly औरतों पर और बच्चों पर खास ध्यान रहा है इनका। और इनका जो काम है वो एजुकेशन से आगे बढ़कर, ट्रेडिशनल एजुकेशन से आगे बढ़कर वो सोशल इश्यूज और जैसे कि अर्ली मैरिज हुआ या मेंटल हेल्थ अवेयरनेस हुआ, इन सारी चीज़ों की तरफ भी रहा है। सो लेट्स बिगिन विद द वेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चन। Can you please tell us about your family background and your relationship with Maulana Abul Kalam Azad? Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
So, हम पूछ रहे हैं आपकी फैमिली बैकग्राउंड और आपका जो रिश्ता है मौलाना अबुल कलाम आज़ाद साहब के साथ, उसके बारे में कुछ बताइए प्लीज हमें।
जी, बेसिकली आई एम द ग्रैंड नीस ऑफ मौलाना अबुल कलाम आज़ाद साहब। हमारी जो दादी थी जोहरा बेगम और मौलाना साहब की जो वाइफ थी जुलेखा बेगम, दे वर सिस्टर्स। और मौलाना साहब के बड़े भाई गुलाम यासीन साहब की शादी हमारी बड़ी दादी हफीजा बेगम से हुई थी और मौलाना साहब की शादी जुलेखा बेगम से शादी हुई थी। So Maulana Saab got married at the age of I think he was 11 years and my dadi was she was 9 years. So Maulana Saab got married and he was in Calcutta and he was staying in his in-laws house in 89 Collins Street. So इस तरीके से मौलाना साहब की जो बेसिक अर्ली लाइफ है वो अपने इन-लॉज के घर में ही कटा। So he was more like established in the in-laws side. उनकी जो मदर इन लॉ नजमुन नेसा बीबी, शी वॉज अ मेन लेडी बिहाइंड मौलाना साहब की जो आपके पब्लिकेशंस जो थे, उनके जो जर्नल्स थे और उनकी जो प्रेस थी अल हिलाल और बिलाल, शी वाज द वन हु काइंड ऑफ हेल्प्ड हिम यू नो फॉर्म द जर्नलिज्म जोन। सो मौलाना साहब हमारी फैमिली वो हमें आई वाज नॉट देयर दो, हमारे जो फादर थे, हमारे चचा थे और हमारी दादियां सब एक साथ रहते थे। So the early life was started in Collins Street. फिर बाद में they shifted to 19A Baligan Circular Road, जहाँ मौलाना साहब के काफी साल वहाँ गुजरा। There were a lot of historical leaders who would visit him during that period in Baligan Circular Road. And we've been hearing a lot of stories from my Abba, you know, like Maulana Saab की कैसी उनकी life थी, कैसे कट रही थी, who would come and meet him in Baligan Circular Road. So ये सारी चीजें थी। And बेसिकली मौलाना साहब का एक ऐसा एस्पेक्ट था कि मौलाना साहब के जो ससुर थे मौलवी आफ्ताबुद्दीन, ही वाज द जमींदार फ्रॉम पांडुआ डिस्ट्रिक्ट इन बर्दवान, यू नो। तो इस तरीके से मौलाना साहब का जो कनेक्ट रहा बंगाल के साथ, यू नो, लाइक ही वाज द सन इन लॉ ऑफ बंगाल, आप समझ रहे हैं। तो इट वाज अ अमालगेशन ऑफ टू जोन्स, यू नो, लाइक Bangla as well as his connection from Makkah. So Maulana Saab ka ये zone था where he was kind of knowing many languages. मौलाना साहब आपको पता है he was a self taught scholar और उनकी जो
Mm-hmm.
एजुकेशन हुई थी उनके वालिद साहब ने घर पे ही उनको एजुकेशन दिया था और मौलाना साहब न्यू मैनी लैंग्वेजेस 7-8 लैंग्वेजेस से वो वाकिफ थे and he would understand Bengali, he would understand other languages as well. So ये सारी चीजें थी मौलाना के साथ. We have this Maulana Saab ki belongings जो हैं, we've kind of given it to the museum here. एक मौलाना साहब की म्यूजियम है कलकत्ता में, आपको शायद पता हो या ना हो. And उस म्यूजियम में मौलाना की काफी चीजें हैं. The Bharat Ratna which was given to him posthumous, that was donated. उनकी सारे furnitures were donated. उनके personal belongings, ये सारी चीजें that was kind of given it to the museum, and it is under the Ministry of Culture.
Okay. Okay. Great. So, has your family's legacy influenced you, uh, your career, your aspirations?
See, to be very honest, coming from the family initially, it was like that. I never took it very seriously, because it is always like when you are from the family, you take things very lightly. Initially I would
True.
always hear from my puppu and my chachas and all, ki Maulana Saab, but utna, I could not grasp in so much. Ki kya har waqt ye Maulana Saab, but what Maulana Saab? That was like, what was it actually? हाँ, when I started growing, जो कल्चर उनकी जो तहजीब थी हमारे फैमिली स्टोरीज हैं. पप्पू हमेशा कहती थी कि आके सुनो क्या बोलना चाहते हैं हम लोग क्या है. बट लाइक इट वाज लाइक दैट कि आई काइंड ऑफ हैड माय एजुकेशन इन अ कॉन्वेंट. तो वो जोन जो था कि फैमिली कल्चर था, बट लाइक सीरियसली नहीं था. लाइक माय फादर एम्फसाइज कि हमारे बच्चे एजुकेशन पे ज्यादा एम्फसाइज करेंगे. हम लोग की तालीम हमारे सारे कॉन्वेंट में हुई, तो वो था. देन एट द सेम टाइम घरेलू एजुकेशन का भी मसला था. जैसे आप उर्दू भी पढ़ें, आप अरबी भी पढ़ें, सो वो कल्चर डेफिनेटली रहा है. तो फैमिली, आई एम व्हेन आई वाज ग्रोइंग अप, वो स्टेज मुझे, I was feeling very happy कि हाँ, I belong from a rich culture, and the legacy what I belong from, like I would love to be, I would love to hear more stories about it कि क्या है क्या नहीं, but actually when you are growing you don't take things so seriously. But थोड़ा बहुत जब when you're kind
Mhm.
of pulled in and then you're told you better sit and hear now. So that is how I started taking interest in my family, the family legacies what I kind of inherited. uh, Maulana Saab, he led a very simple life. So my family, being from the, family never used Maulana's name to do things. My dad, he was a scientist with central glass and ceramic. So अब्बा का ये हमेशा ये था कि आप emphasize कीजिए education पे, आप तालीम पे emphasize कीजिए. जो मौलाना साहब का भी हमेशा उसी तरफ में रुजू था. मौलाना साहब जब एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर थे उनका भी यही था कि हर फर्द को एजुकेशन मिलना जरूरी है, द बेसिक एजुकेशन फॉर चिल्ड्रन. सो दैट वाज इट. और जो हमारे जो फैमिली मेंबर्स थे, हमारे जो अंकल्स वगैरह थे, वन वाज वर्किंग फॉर द नेशनल लाइब्रेरी, वन वाज वर्किंग फॉर द फूड डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. सो द एजुकेशन का जो एस्पेक्ट था वो हमारे घर पे
Mhm.
हमेशा वो माहौल बना रहा. So means that was one very important thing what I can kind of got from the family. And the rich legacy which I inherited from my family, it basically conjured my work ethics of honesty, discipline, and compassion, you know, for the society. And I felt that I had a driving force कि मुझे कुछ तो करना है on my personal and professional journey में. So I took up education and social service, as years to come, I kind of, involve myself into this. So that is how my journey began, with the legacy, definitely, yeah, to serve for in the field of education.
But once you left your education, I mean, you completed your education, you, I think, ventured into travel industry and corporate work, right?
See,
And then you
basically,
founded Mafesa.
yeah. My journey has been, not a straight journey. It was like more of a up and downs was there. See, as a person matures, and you gather a lot of personal and professional experiences, which is ingrained in the journey of one's life. I feel one's conscience, which is a guide to a person, it kind of imbalances the person to the society. So when I kind of finished my education, my graduation, I felt that I would join the service industry. So I kind of took up the travel industry as my career.
Hmm.
So I took up my I started working for the British Airways Airlines, and I was working, though it was in the ground level. I was never flying. After that, for a period of time, I kind of gathered corporate experience. Then I worked for ITC. I worked for in tobacco company in Kolkata. I looked after the travel, department and all. After that, I got married, and a period of time came when the responsibilities were coming in with me. I felt that because I had a lovely set of in-laws. In fact, they encouraged me, that I must do something. So I was more like a daughter to them than a daughter-in-law. So my husband was also very cooperative. He kind of helped me. My in-laws helped me. So we kind of started uh, a Montessori for the children. Like basically, training the small kids for a higher level of school, in the main school stream. So that was on for a period of time for a few years. After that, my children came. So I had my responsibilities towards my children, my family. So there were other responsibilities, but simultaneously, I was definitely doing something or the other. Then this thing for Maulana Azad came in. And in 2004, it was like the Mackay's, that's Maulana Azad Institute of Asian Studies, started. And basically,
Hmm.
that time, Professor Mahavir Singh was the director of the institute, and this came under, Ministry of Culture. So during that period, I guess Nurul Hassan was the governor of Bengal, and he felt that Maulana's museum should be initiated in Bengal because Maulana's journey started from Bengal. That is how the Maulana Azad Museum came up. So the PWD department took up the place and revamped it and came under Ministry Culture, but they just had the, structure, but they never had anything. How would they display it as a museum? That is when my father and the family came in, and my father had got the posthumous Bharat Ratna award for Maulana. So we decided that since Maulana was for the education, so we donated a lot of these things to the museum, so that the people of Bengal and people elsewhere could have a look as what the museum looks like, what was Maulana's belongings like. There were his achkans, there were his sherwanis, what he used to wear. There was his pen, his personal belongings, his crockeries, all these things. We decided, yeah, it it must go to the people. People must see how was his life, his contribution. So 2004 came in, and we gave away a few of the things. Then in the year 2008 and 9, towards 9, I kind of donated more of Maulana's things, his writings, his manuscripts, and all, because I felt there could be a research team, kind of where Maulana's teachings, his publications could be taken care, and scholars could get a general know-how of what was Maulana's life all about. So I was with the ministry for a period of time, for 2 3 years, and after that,
Hmm.
this I decided. Then I think the next government came in, and I decided that the Maulana Trust should be formed. That is how the concept of having a trust of Maulana Azad Foundation for Education and Social Amity came up. That is the trust which I started. And
Hmm.
well, people, it was a difficult task for me, kind of putting in things, getting in like-minded people, and it's a tough journey. But then I started it, and it's been long years. We've been having seminars. I was trying to put in visions of Maulana's visions across the people. I was kind of initiating people that there's a Maulana museum, you can have a look. There were a lot of people, like-minded people, who kind of initiated it. They helped me, kind of form this forum. Then we worked on education, kind of, trying to emphasize on basic education of children. We kind of started giving in scholarships. Whatever was done from my zone. We've never taken any financial funds or any kind of financial help from anybody. It was all self-funded. So people
Hmm.
kind of helped me. There were people who kind of, they wanted to be attached with us. So we started on with the zone with, trying to empower women as well. That's a very important thing. What I feel in today's आज के माशरे में बहुत जरूरी है कि औरतों की हुकूक होनी जो बहुत जरूरी है अपने पाँव में औरतें खड़े हों. And basically it was not about urban or the rural woman. It's about women who are dependent on their husband. बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं कि marriages don't work. And ये औरतें जो हैं, if they are kind of empowered and they are kind of trained, they can take care of the family. They can take care of their children. They are not dependent on their husband. आप देखेंगे ज्यादातर औरतों की मार कुटाई होती है. हमने ये सोचा है कि हम टू मेनी जोन्स पे अपने आप को बांटेंगे नहीं. हमारी जो मेन कंसेप्ट रहेगी वो एजुकेशन और बच्चों के हुकूक में रहेगी. और डेफिनेटली वील ट्राई टू गिव इन लीगल सर्विसेज टू द वुमेन. औरतों को बहुत सारी चीजें मालूम नहीं है और वो सारी चीजों को उनको उनकी राइट्स को उनके सेफ गार्ड किया जाए. सो दिस इज वन zone we wanted to kind of work, but it is not also with only women what I was talking about. I started with a legal service kind of trying to counsel. They are victims, just like women are victims of domestic violence. Men are equally victim of domestic violence. So हमारा जो zonal zone है वो औरत और मर्द दोनों को kind of equality basis पे we trying to sort things out. So this is all in the in the pipeline what I'm trying to work. At the same time, I've been attending seminars, I'm attending workshops, and trying to tell about Maulana, work on Maulana, because see, Maulana was not only about like a Maulana. He was a national leader. He was a secular nationalist leader. So his contributions to the society is as important as the other leaders who stood in during that independent period. So that is what. And know how Maulana kind of was against the two-nation theory. He was against going to Pakistan. He kind of told Muslims not to leave India and go to Pakistan. So for that, many of people didn't like it. Many of people called him the showboy of the Congress, but he didn't bother about it. He was very verbal about what he felt and for the rights of the Muslims. So basically, मौलाना की जो contributions हैं आप अगर उसको देखें, it was not only towards it was not only towards nation. He had a lot of contribution towards culture, a lot of contribution towards education. आज अगर we are फकर से हम कहते हैं कि we are having IITs, we are having libraries, we are having the नाटक academies. ये सारे मौलाना की initiative देन हैं. And मौलाना जो as a एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर इन्होंने काफी चीजों को पाइपलाइंस में ही काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रेटन इट आउट. आप आज we are talking about ICCR. What did ICCR mean? It meant international cultural relations, international relations for other countries. We were kind of exchanging our views, our ideas, our cultures with other countries. उनके लोग हमारे कंट्री में आ रहे हैं, हमारे लोग उनके कंट्री में जा रहे हैं. It's not about one particular country, but you're exchanging your cultural behavior, your cultural ideologies. So this was very important. So ये सारी चीजें हैं which has been initiated. So आज अगर हम
Hmm.
कल्चर के बारे में बात करें, we are talking about the education system in India. We are all walking on the footprints of Maulana Azad, and I think he did a great job.
So, what you very rightly said that most of the institutions that we had were initiated during that time by Maulana. Obviously, that is something which we should all be very well aware of. जब मफेसा की बात करें लेकिन तो what were what are the major achievements, if you can say, that you have been able to you know accomplish through mafesa?
See, basically, I want Mafisa to profile Maulana Azad's vision of India. which is in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, which India, which was secular, scientific, and respecting the diversity of its country, so that the next generation truly understands the holistic vision of our founding fathers, which they had for a country. This is a kind of vision I have for Mafesa. I also feel that the education of a woman, which translates into educating a society, as a mother is the first teacher of any child. So Mafissa is trying to kind of help exploited women who are a reality across the social strata. So when
Mm-hmm.
a exploited woman, if she truly understands that education is the port key, she needs to navigate new pathways for her ability and her confidence to handle the issues, handle the issues which is strangulating her growth as a human. She will be enhanced and she can vanquish her problems like a true embodiment of Shakti. This is what actually it is. I'm trying to make Mafis organization where women who have lost their confidence, the ability to think, the ability to feel that they can not do anything in the society. My Mafesa would help these women to kind of rebuild their confidence. They can be as equal partner to contribute to the society as the men for. This is what I feel. I feel that every woman should be financially independent so that she's not dependent on anybody, neither her father, her husband, her children. A woman herself needs to be very economically independent. She must have her own shelter. This is what I feel. Let it be a one room kind of a house or a home she has, but her own shelter is very important. This is one thing which is there. And, like we are seeing pathways, how we are going to contribute towards the society. It's not about being a woman from my community and my minority community. All communities are kind of welcomed in Mafissa, and we are going to do inshallah great work in the months to come.
Inshallah. I hope that you are really able to do that. So that is like your vision about Mafesa. And obviously, there have been certain issues, like you spoke about that how Maulana was very much about having a scientific temperament, एक साइंटिफिक अप्रोच चीज़ों की तरफ और एजुकेशन की तरफ और ख़ास तौर से जो क्या कहते हैं भ्रांतियां बढ़ती जा रही हैं या जो एक बिल्कुल अनसाइंटिफिक सी चीजें आती जा रही हैं व्हाट डू यू हैव टू से अबाउट दैट because suddenly I think we are becoming more and more what shall I say we're becoming less scientific somehow as we are progressing.
See, I'm not good at giving any advices. What I feel,
Mm-hmm.
basically all I can share with young people is that experiences make, by your own experiences, you can really get away with a lot of things. You know that as Maulana had been the first education minister of independent India, he was battling, meager resources. So Maulana Sahab basically established modern education frame, work for a nascent nation by establishing many eminent universities like the UGC, the IITs, the IIMs. The main basic aims which helped India through its working professionals was to make a resounding impact on the world stage as a pioneer of human resources development for betterment of society, which was being rooted in thousands of years of culture, tradition, and civilization. A claim which not many nations can make today on the global theater. So, what we want is just, by being committed to every responsibility, I want to discharge the best of my ability and emerge as a better version of myself as to what I am today. So, basically, I would feel, there are, organizations, what we are facing at the moment, I have come across, with experience. I have visited schools and, kind of many institutions which are, government aided and in the rural areas. they have these setups and basically जो तालीम होता है उनको religious तालीम
Mhm.
दी जाती है. तो मुझे ये लगता है कि religious तालीम एक जोन है, आपको दुनियावी और दीनी तालीम दोनों एक अलग अलग पहलू के जोन में रखना चाहिए. दीनी तालीम के साथ दुनियावी तालीम भी मस्ट है. वी कैन नॉट जस्ट सिट ऑन वन एंड से कि बस दीनी तालीम ही लेना है, हमको वक्त के साथ चलना पड़ेगा. दैट इज हाउ आई वुड फील कि प्रोग्रेस करेंगे. मेरा ये जोन है कि आई फील कि जो जितने मस्जिद वगैरह होते हैं, आप जो देख रहे हैं कि countries abroad, they're not only using the masjid as the place of worship, they're using the masjid as a place of learning. That learning can be, interaction between other people, and kind of
Mhm.
having cultural activities, kind of having educational activities. So the masjid on a whole can be used for many for many purposes. So this is very important, I feel. I have tried speaking into a lot of people and many people have agreed to it. So yeah, this is going to be one step. What we are trying to do is, एक आई नो औरतों का मस्जिद अलग है, मर्दों का मस्जिद अलग है, डेफिनेटली कंपार्टमेंट्स हैं, वो जोन्स हैं, वो किया जाए, बट मस्जिद को सिर्फ एक जगह फॉर वर्शिप नहीं यूज किया जाए, उसको बहुत सारी चीजों में हम लोग उसको यूज कर सकते हैं. एंड इट वी कैन स्प्रेड अ गुड piece of advice to the people, and we can be a good set of example. This is what I feel.
Very true. Very very true. क्योंकि बाकी जगहों पर मॉस्क मस्जिद जो है वो नॉर्मली कल्चरल सेंटर की तरह यूज होते हैं. मतलब नमाज तो होती है लेकिन इट्स आल्सो अ कल्चरल सेंटर वेयर पीपल फ्रॉम आई मीन ऑल सॉर्ट्स ऑफ पीपल कैन कम एंड इंटरेक्ट. ऐसा नहीं है कि इट्स रिजर्व फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिटी और समबडी. पीपल can come and interact. They have their celebrations, they have their classes run करते हैं, trainings run करते हैं, charity work करते हैं वहाँ से. So उस चीज को यहाँ पर बिल्कुल किया जा सकता है. I think that is a very good thought and we should be doing it. हालांकि उसको लेकर काफी रेजिस्टेंस है लोगों में कि और I think
जी,
you
हर
must
नया
also
काम
be
आप
facing
करना
that kind of
चाहेंगे,
resistance.
there is a resistance for any kind of a new work you want to do and inculcate new things in the society. But then how strong you
True.
are to battle this off, and how can you see, basically it is how you communicate with people, how you try to kind of explain things to people. That is very important. See, this can only come only when we do dialogues with people and try to explain things, because many people are naive, they do not know what's happening. You need to explain things to them, then only kind of we can do betterment for the society. This is how I feel. Another thing, Aamir, I feel that a lot of people have these mental health challenges which are in the society, do not want to talk about it. And
Very
you
true.
see, the state of mind is very important. So one needs to talk about the state of mind of every individual, because I might be looking fine, but there might be some issues with me which I do not want to discuss about. But why? When we have problems, when we have any issues of any particular things about which is kind of troubling us in our body, the mind is also a part of it. So when your mind is not healthy, when your mind is not accepting things, that is where you need, there are a lot of challenges. So one needs to talk about the mental the mental health challenges. These are very important. So I feel there should be counseling centers, because people are suffering in today's day according to the society. So personal dialogue with a person is very important. How comfortable is a person to explain the difficulties, how can you help that person who's facing such a lot of agony. So this is very important, I feel. Amir, so I don't know लोग इसके लिए कैसे react करेंगे. Many feel very shy to talk about it, but then I think with this shyness you cannot overcome your problems. You need to kind of be upright, you need to come out open and talk about it. That is how we're going to make things in a better zone. That is what I feel.
Very, very true. I've spoken to a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists also इस show पे. And what I've come to realize is कि जितना ज़्यादा मेंटल हेल्थ को लेकर हम बात करेंगे उतना ज़्यादा ये नॉर्मलाइज होगा. मतलब लोग जो है इसको नॉर्मल लेने लगेंगे. अभी तो फिर भी कंडीशन मुझे लगता है कि काफ़ी बेहतर है. एटलीस्ट लोग अभी थोड़ा बहुत ठीक है, हर कोई नहीं, लेकिन फिर भी बहुत लोग बोल देते हैं यस आई एम एक्सपीरियंसिंग अ काइंड ऑफ मेंटल हेल्थ, स्पेशली बहुत सारे सेलिब्रिटीज भी ओपन अप हुए, उन्होंने बोला कि दे वर फेसिंग दीज इश्यूज, दीज चैलेंजेस, एंड दैट हैज एक्चुअली इफेक्टेड अ लॉट। नहीं तो पहले तो सीधे सीधे अगर मेंटल हेल्थ की बात करिए तो लोग सीधे या तो पागल हो गया है, दिमाग खराब है, सनक गए हैं, दीज वर
नफ्सियाती
द लेबल्स
मरीज
व्हिच
है,
वर
ये
गिवन।
है, वो शुरू कर
और
देते हैं वो
और
नफ्सियाती।
गलती से किसी लड़की के बारे में मालूम चल जाए कि या लड़के के बारे में कि वो मतलब दे हैड सम काइंड ऑफ दे इवन मेट अ साइकोलॉजिस्ट, अरे उनकी लड़की से या लड़के से शादी मत करना, वो तो पागल है। So that is, I'm so sorry, but that is the kind of mentality we have until now. And I hope that, yes, people like you are trying to change it big time, and that is something which is wonderful. एक और चीज के बारे में, हालांकि इलीगल है, लेकिन फिर भी वो चीज होती है, फोर्स्ड मैरिजेस or early marriages. How do you think that affects the empowerment of both men and women, and especially उसका काफी असर पड़ता होगा?
सी बेसिकली जो अर्ली और फोर्स्ड मैरिजेस जो होता है, स्पेशली इन सोशियो इकोनॉमिकली अंडर प्रिविलेज सेक्शंस में, ये कर्टेल कर देता है इंसान के जो एम्पावरमेंट ऑफ अ गर्ल चाइल्ड, उसकी सोच वगैरह में, टू एक्सप्लोर हर इनहेरेंट मेरिट, टू फुलफिल हर ड्रीम्स एंड टू ग्रो एज अ ग्लोबल सिटीजन. What we do is, you see, now people are aware that okay, at the age of 18, till you are not an adult, you cannot get married because the government bans it. And the guys, but then marriages do take place in the villages. The girls are 16-year-old, they are 15 years old, and they are kind of जो वहां पे जो पंचायत है, दे मेक इट लाइक दैट कि वो एक सर्टिफिकेट दे देंगे, कह देंगे लड़की बालिग हो गई है, बस उसकी शादी कर दो. अगर उनको ये समझाने, कहते हैं कि हालात ऐसे हैं, वक्त ऐसा है कि हम लोग को लड़कियों को बैठाना नहीं है, शादी दे देना है, बिकॉज how the situations are with the country, the young girls, boys, and the internet services. Thanks, we have a lot of the bad effects as well as the good effects. तो ये बच्चियों की जब शादी हो जाती है एट अ वेरी यंग एज, दीज गर्ल्स दे बिकम प्रेग्नेंट, एंड इनके फिर कभी कभी फोर्स्ड अबॉर्शंस होते हैं. इनके सारे like a girl who is so young, she cannot take in with a early marriage and then motherhood. ये सारी इनकी जो पर्सनालिटी में बहुत इफेक्ट कर जाता है. एंड देन मतलब स्ट्रीम ऑफ चिल्ड्रन कमिंग इन, नॉट अबाउट वन टू, काफी बच्चे हो जाते हैं. इससे क्या होता है, हेल्थ एंड हाइजीन पे इफेक्ट करता है, इनके वेलबींग में इफेक्ट करता है. तो इनको अभी सी ये सारी चीजों को इनको एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ेगा कि एक इंसान इतने एज में वी आर केपेबल, आगे जो हो गया हो गया. अब डेफिनेटली अभी जो हालात ऐसे हैं, आप बच्चियों को किस तरीके से मेंटली तैयार करेंगे, फिजिकली तैयार करेंगे, उसके कुछ न्यूट्रिशन चाहिए, उसको सारी चीजें हैं. तो ये सारी चीजों को काइंड ऑफ आई फील कि बहुत जरूरी है कि औरतों को, बच्चियों को काइंड ऑफ अवेयर करने के लिए. तो पीपल आर देयर नाउ, ये सब आंगनवाड़ी हुआ है जो विलेजेस में है, ये काफी चीजें कर रही हैं. मतलब वहां पे जो सेंटर्स खुला है, औरतें हैं, they are talking about it, the government is doing, making people aware of what is happening, when you're married early. So ये सब चीज, this is definitely working, not that it is not, but it has started. So this is very important, I feel. So early marriages,
Yeah,
it's a no-no actually. There should be a time
very
frame for all the girl. So let her, because you're cutting the wings of a girl. A girl needs to kind of grow up, explore, study. उसकी सारे ambitions को आप curtail कर दे रहे हैं in the name of marriage. Many girls are lucky who can, spread their wings after marriage. Many girls are not lucky. They have to kind of kill the desires if they are married. So that is how it is.
very true. True. Although you did say कि you don't really give advices, but still I would like to ask you कि स्पेशली जो यंगस्टर्स एजुकेशन की फील्ड में या पर्सनल इस तरह के काम करना चाह रहे हैं, सोशल वर्क करना चाह रहे हैं, सिंस यू ऑलरेडी हैव अ वेरी वास्ट एक्सपीरियंस इन दिस फील्ड, व्हाट विल यू लाइक टू टेल देम? हाउ शुड दे गो अबाउट इट?
not that the youngsters are not aware, about, kind of taking part for the improvement of the society. They are doing, many youngsters are really doing great work. Many are openly coming up, and they want to be a part of, helping you. They'll tell me, there have been instances when they have told me that, ma'am, आप हमको बताएं कुछ काम है, we will volunteer, we'll help. तो इनको ये सोशल सर्विसेज जो है अ पार्ट ऑफ अ कल्चर। एंड अभी आप स्कूल के जो प्रोजेक्ट्स वगैरह हैं आप देखेंगे कि सोशल
Mm-hmm.
सर्विसेज इज अ पार्ट ऑफ स्टडीज, राइट? सो दिस इंटरेक्शन, ये बच्चे बहुत अच्छे से कर रहे हैं। हमारे हमारे पीरियड में उतना नहीं था। जब आजकल के जो बच्चे हैं, जो जो स्कूल्स हैं, वो इनकलकेट कर रहे हैं ये सोशल स्टडीज को लेकर। सो ये इससे क्या हो रहा है, दे आर ट्राइंग टू बी मोर रिस्पॉन्सिबल पीपल, मोर रिस्पॉन्सिबल, kind of individual towards the society. So the children are actually aware, how to kind of make a society better. What are the things they are going to do to make the society better. So I like it, and I feel happy that the children are taking part, and students are taking part, and people want to make the society a better zone for everybody. That nobody wants violence, nobody wants kind of differences, nobody wants hate, nobody wants it. Everybody wants to live in a community where you can spread the message of peace, love. Nobody wants to live in disharmony. So that is it. So this is like very important that when we are working, we need to spread peace among everybody. This is one thing very important. Another thing what I like to say is that when you are part of the NGO, you have these lot of these facilities which is being given by the state government and the central government. So not many of the NGOs are aware of what the state government is providing to this, to the people. The central government is providing to the state government. Differences are there with the state and the center. So what happens is the funds, kind of whatever you're getting, the facilities goes back to the government, because you're not utilizing it. I feel that there should be centers where people are allocated and given charge and told about that these are the kind of the government is giving grants, you avail it. This is the kind of grants you're getting for education, for health, for hygiene. People who are aware are availing it, but many of them are not aware of it. So I feel there are a lot of these NGOs must kind of propagate कि आपको benefits मिल रहा है, ताकि जो underprivileged हैं आप उनको help कर सकते हैं। उनको बहुत सारी education जो systems हैं वहाँ पे उनको क्या benefits मिल सकता है, क्या उनको गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से छूट मिल रही है। these things are very important. So I have been trying to be a bridge between the center and इनके जो schemes हैं, इनके जो policies हैं, वो लोगों तक
Mm-hmm.
पहुंचाने को उसको कैसे करके हम लोग पहुंचाएंगे, how to tell them about it. We're trying to work on this also. So so that everybody gets a benefit out of it.
That's actually a brilliant idea because हाँ ये बात सही है, बहुत से लोगों को नहीं मालूम होता है। And, कई बार जो बातें होती हैं इंटरनेट पे एक्सेसिबल हैं, लेकिन हर कोई इंटरनेट पे उतना ज़्यादा एक तो उसको समझ नहीं पाता है, और बहुत सी दफ़ा दे गेट बैड एडवाइस एक्चुअली। क्योंकि बैड एडवाइस इसलिए क्योंकि वो जिनसे पूछ रहे होते हैं probably they also don't know what exactly is going on, and they just give the advice and the other person just follows through. So it's good. I think that's a good, very good effort. So you tell me, I mean, अच्छा खैर आपका इतना सारा प्रोफेशनल कमिटमेंट है और बाकी चीजें हैं. So how do you take care of yourself? How do you take care of your mental health and maintain your peace?
Well, if I say, all of us portray that we are all peaceful with ourselves, but I feel you know this is just a gimmick. We try to pretend as to stay, you be happy in all circumstances, but the environment doesn't let you do. Yeah, alhamdulillah, I have a very good set of people around me, my children, I have friends, my family. At times I'm stressed, not that I'm not stressed, I'm human. I have my flaws, I have my issues. But then I try to rectify, I try to kind of compose myself, how things are. I try to talk,
Mm-hmm.
and that gives you a lot of kind of energy to be okay. But not that I've been running and doing gymming and all. Really don't get time. But I like to hear music at times, soft music. That keeps me this thing. At the same time, I try to put religion. Of course, all the religion for every individual, gives you peace. So, this peace, you need to be peace with yourself. So this can only happen when, for me, I get peace if I feel that my environment is clean, neat. I'm a like, a clean, like I want everything around me, spick and span. So that is how I kind of get pleasure. I derive my, pleasure by, being in insanity, in real sanity by doing this. um, I do my namaz, I do my daroods. So that keeps me going. So that is how it is. I try to meet my friends. I try to be in touch with my family, because as you grow, you like to be connected with your, family members, your relatives, because एक period होता है when you're lost in touch with everybody. But now you feel that no, you
Mm-hmm.
want to be connected, with everybody. So भले वो थोड़ा 2 मिनट का सलाम दुआ हो, how are you keeping, if that makes a person happy, why not? So मेरे तरफ से जो भी हो सकता है I try to do that.
अच्छा, कुछ ऐसा है जो अभी आपको लगता है आप जैसे I want to learn to play guitar. I don't know how to learn to play guitar. Play guitar, and I really want to learn it. और ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें I want to learn, probably Spanish now. तो ऐसे कुछ चीजें हैं जो अभी भी हैं आपके जहन में जो आप करना चाह रहे हैं नहीं.
uh, I have this fear of height. I want to
हम्म.
kind of get away with this, because मुझे height से problem है. But वो fear इतना ज़्यादा अंदर है कि I don't know whether I can get out of it. Uh, Definitely, I want to learn swimming, but it's a
हम्म.
no-no for me because I had had an accident in my early years, and I've been told by the doctor not to go for swimming ever. So कभी-कभी कुछ-कुछ चीजें ऐसी होती हैं कि आप चाहते हुए भी नहीं कर सकते हैं बिकॉज हालात और आपकी हेल्थ आपको अलाउ नहीं करती है. तो शायद मेरे दिल में ये जो ख्वाहिश था कि आई वांट टू डू स्विमिंग, आई वांट टू लर्न स्विमिंग, वो मैं नहीं कर पाई. सो दैट हैज बीन देयर. So that is really good. But I don't know. ख्वाहिशें कभी ना
अदरवाइज यू
कभी
नॉट
पूरा
अफ्रेड ऑफ वाटर.
होती हैं.
आपको हाइट से डर लगता है लेकिन पानी से डर नहीं लगता.
पानी से डर नहीं लगता मगर स्विमिंग नहीं आता है. आई कैन जस्ट रन वेट थ्रू.
Yeah. So, okay, before I take your leave, I would just uh, want to ask you this question. I think I'm asking it for the first time. That if if we were to put your entire life and all the experiences that you have had until now into a few words, what will you say? What have you really learned from your life?
In my course of my journey, and I feel that a person has a lot of grudges, a lot of kind of misgivings, but I think, and at one point of time I felt very hurt, and when you can't achieve as to what you want, and kind of you are kind of taken into a zone where you feel that हमसे नहीं होगा, देखा जाएगा, पता नहीं होगा कि नहीं होगा, अल्लाह ताला शायद नहीं चाहते हैं. यस, डेस्टिनी डज प्ले अ बिग रोल. जब जो होना है वो होगा. व्हाट यू विल अचीव, यू विल अचीव डेफिनेटली. I think forgive people. What I feel is forgive people who have kind of treated you badly. By forgiving and moving ahead, you are kind of away from all the negativity. With I feel one cannot carry baggages and move ahead. So leave all your baggages behind and move ahead, surge ahead. do your work, uh, kind of विदाउट एनी मतलब हर वक्त आप अगर उसमें मतलब ढूंढेंगे और हर वक्त आप अपना फाइनेंशियल ग्रोथ ढूंढेंगे और हर चीज अगर आप सोचेंगे कि ये काम इस मतलब के लिए करेंगे तभी हमको फायदा होगा, तो फिर वो सुकून और आफियत आपको नहीं मिलेगी। आई थिंक कभी कभी कुछ काम करना चाहिए कौम के लिए, माशरे के लिए, बिना मतलब के। और अब अल्लाह की जात से है, बिकॉज अगर मेरे नसीब में है तो आई विल गेट इट, मेरे नसीब में है, नहीं है तो आई विल नॉट गेट इट, भले हम जितना उसके लिए हाथ पांव मार लें। सो यस, हम एवरीथिंग इज लाइक बीइंग पॉजिटिव। तो मुझे ये लगता है पॉजिटिविटी इज अ वेरी बिग थिंग एंड यू नीड अ वेरी पॉजिटिव ऑरा अराउंड यू। ये ऑरा जो माहौल आपका है वो हमेशा नेगेटिविटी से दूर रहिए, गिबत से दूर रहिए, हम लोग जो नॉर्मली करते रहते हैं। And Nashukrapan will never lead you anywhere. I know that. Even I am also, I agree, I am a human being. Nashukrapan हमसे भी होता है. I think Aamir बस यही है, but definitely money does play a very important role in the society. पैसे जरूरत है, मगर इतना ज्यादा उसको हवस मत कर दीजिए कि वो आपके सर पे घुस जाए। एंड आई थिंक वन नीड्स टू बी असेसेबल। आप अपने आप को इतना अनअसेसेबल कर दीजिए कि लोग आपके पास आने के लिए, आपसे बात करने के लिए सोचे, और वो आपको व्हाई वुड दैट हैपन? पीपल शुड बी असेसेबल। अगर आप किसी कौम के लिए, कोई वक्त के लिए कुछ काम कर रहे हैं, अगर आप लोगों की बात नहीं सुनेंगे, उनकी तकलीफ नहीं सुनेंगे, हाउ विल यू हेल्प देम? तो ये जो असेसिबिलिटी है, बहुत लोग सोचते हैं अरे यू आर जस्ट वेरी बीइंग कॉमन। इट्स नॉट अबाउट बीइंग कॉमन, इट्स अबाउट बीइंग असेसिबल टू पीपल। यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड एज अ कॉमन पर्सन कि इनकी क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, क्या इश्यूज हैं। अगर ये हमसे नहीं होता है तो इट्स बेटर उस पर्सन को घुमाइए मत, वहीं पे बोल दीजिए नहीं होगा। एटलीस्ट वो जो उम्मीद जो लगा के रखता है वो इंसान कि हमसे हमको ये इंसान से ये फायदा होगा या ये इंसान मेरे लिए, वो उम्मीद नहीं करके रहेगा। यू नो, दिस इज आई फील। आपसे अगर होता है आप जरूर हेल्प करिए, अगर आपसे नहीं होता है तो आई थिंक यू शुड नॉट गिव फॉल्स प्रॉमिसेस टू पीपल। दिस इज व्हाट आई फील। सो आई
Brilliant.
डोंट नो।
That is, yes, actually, is really good advices, really good points about that.
But currently
Right.
implementation कैसे होता है, but with time, with everything, one does get to know yourself better, and then you get to know also कि this is where you stand, this is what you can do. So that is how I feel these days. This is what I feel. I am talking about my experience. So that is important for me.
So, आई थिंक कि कुछ लोग, सारे लोगों को तो नहीं कहूँगा, लेकिन जो लोग इंट्रोस्पेक्शन करते हैं, थोड़ा अपने आप को सामने, अपने ऊपर नजर डालते रहते हैं, वो जैसे जैसे वक्त बीतता है वो अपने आप को मेरे ख्याल से वो बेहतर करते चले जाते हैं। मतलब कुछ चीज़ों में, जैसे आपने बोला ना कि वो वक्त के साथ, उम्र के साथ चीज़ें जो होती हैं वो बेहतर होती जाती हैं। सबके लिए तो खैर मैं नहीं कहूँगा, बिकॉज आई हैवंट सीन इट हैपनिंग इन एवरीवन, बट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु आर मोर इंट्रोस्पेक्टिव, they do develop this kind of mentality where they
जी
become more honest with themselves and with the others as well, and they lessen their baggage. And I think ये जितनी जल्दी सीख लें उतना अच्छा रहता है, बिकॉज देन अगेन बहुत सारे में हमारे मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज भी तो उसी वजह से होते हैं, बिकॉज वी आर unable to let go of a lot of baggages that we are carrying. So that's actually a brilliant advice. Thank you. I'm so very glad that we could talk today, and आज इंटरनेट ने कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं करी, आज कुछ ऐसा नहीं हुआ। ऑल द शुरू में लग रहा था कि कहीं ऐसे दिक्कत ना हो जाए, बट थैंकफुली ऊपर वाले की मेहरबानी से nothing like this happened. And thank you again for taking out time. I know last week you took out time and then it didn't happen properly, and you again took out time today. So that is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amir. I would like to thank Farah as well. Thank you to hear me out.
So हम लोग बात कर रहे थे मिसेस हुस्नारा सलीम जी से, जो कि मौलाना आज़ाद फाउंडेशन फॉर एजुकेशन, सोशल एंड सोशल एमिटी की फाउंडर हैं. She is the grand niece of the esteemed freedom fighter and educationist Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. and she was gracious enough to take out time for us again tonight. And thank you, Shabba Khair. And as for the rest of you, we'll be meeting again next week, next Sunday, 8 बजे एक नए मेहमान के साथ. शुक्रिया बहुत बहुत मैम. Thank you so much. Have a lovely, lovely week ahead. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.